Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
And I picked up a phrase in Florida that was, it's not X's and O's, it's Freddy's and Joe's. And I think today's player wants an open door policy with his coach. And you said in the news conference, you said things will be different around here. And you didn't really go any further. You didn't have to.
No.
But how much will they be different?
Well, in my opinion, there'll be a lot. I mean, I just feel like today's guy, they need to know every day where they stand. And maybe that's from me having younger kids that are kind of getting towards the age of some of our players. They need to know where they stand all the time. And that might just be walking by them and saying, hey, I liked your game last night, keep doing that. And then the player can put his mind at ease as to what, hey, where am I fitting in right now or what's happening? Or it's, I don't think your effort was where it needed to be last night. We need you to pick it up the next game. That's what they need all the time. So it doesn't have to be a long sit-down meeting, but you have to make sure you give them that feedback all the time. So there's going to be a lot of that, not just from me, the rest of the coaches as well.
Positive reinforcement. Yeah. It's not an entirely new concept in the world. You know, but there's more of it.
There is more of it. It's taken hold for sure, and it's what the players want, a lot of them. And you're going to find there's still some guys that are, nope, I need you to tell me the way it is, and I need you to be very direct and upfront with me, which is the way it should be. But some guys can still handle the kick, but I find that more and more guys are not able to.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Right now,
I'm wearing headphones, rocking it back, old school radio days.
How about that?
And somebody said it looks like I'm plugged into a Walkman. And I remember when I got my first Walkman, because my brothers and I had to share it. And I was the youngest, so how often do you think I got it? And you had your case of cassettes, and then people started to crap on your music selection. And I'm like, then bring yours then! How many times did we have that conversation at parties?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Yes, it is. Welcome to the RP Show on a Thursday, episode 1062 of your favorite daytime sports talk show. I hope you're ready to have fun today. And we always have fun, but I mean more fun today. Coming up on the program, Global Calgary's Cami Kepke is going to be with us. She's got her finger into a lot of things, and we're going to talk about that over the first two segments today. Superfan, the king of cheer, Cameron Hughes, is going to be with us later on in hour one. His best-selling book, King of Cheer, is now out in an audio version. Cameron's going to be joining us to talk about that. Hour two, Kevin the Medium's going to drop by as we look at Week 11 of the CFL and more. And then Seth Anderson, our CEBL insider, will be with us later on in hour two. And I'm actually leaving early today. Can we bring in Cami Kepke here from Global Calgary? Hey, Cam.
1,062. I can't even count that high, Rod.
This show's older, I think, than you are. We just discovered. Listen, I'm riddled with anxiety today, more than most. And I think you might be able to appreciate this. I'm not sure. We don't know each other too well, but we're getting to know each other better. I'm going to MC Theo Fleury's golf tournament this afternoon.
Oh, boy.
For the Breaking Free Foundation. And get this! And Colin Pedersen's helping putting it on. I'm sure you know Colin.
Wonderful guy.
The best.
The best.
Out of the blue this morning, my text blows up. We've got live auction items. Can you auctioneer? No, I can't.
There's schools for that. My cousin went to an auctioneer school in Arizona.
I haven't gone to the school.
It did not pan out for him.
No, it's not easy, man. And obviously, I love Theo and Colin. That's why. Because last night they said, hey, we're going to do a hot stove. Are you good with that? I'm like, yeah, that's down my alley. But there are auctioneers to do these types of things. And actually, Cami, do you do live events aside from sports?
Oh, absolutely.
But doing stuff? So a number of years ago, I thought I'm going to go learn to be an auctioneer so I can be all in one. MC, guest speaker, auctioneer, right? Do it all. So I asked an auctioneer friend of mine, would you teach me how to auctioneer? He goes, you want me to teach you what I've taken a lifetime to learn in an hour? Yeah. Can you do that? How do you think that went?
Oh, splendid.
So, yeah, it didn't. So that was so anyways, Colin, he's like, it's okay. Me or Theo will MC. You go out and spot. So we're going to the Winston today. Kevin's going to take over for the last two segments while I skedaddle to do out there. So how are you?
Oh, I'm thriving. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, okay, before we go any further, I told you that I would ask you on the air, can you sum up in 60 seconds or less who you are for the people across Canada that might not know? They certainly know you in the markets you've been in. But what's your deal?
I'd like to think I'm a Swiss Army knife in a newsroom. I've done news, I've done sports, I can shoot, I can edit. I'm usually lugging around about 75 pounds of gear. And more recently, I've been doing a lot of sidelines for the Calgary Surge and a lot of university sports. But my big thing is trying to provide equitable coverage of sports, especially on a local level. When I was anchoring at Global Calgary, our sportscast, there was never a show where we didn't have women's sports highlighted. And I've had a lot of fun doing it across the country.
And you were just honored by Canada West Conference of Football.
Yes, I got the
that was big.
Gus Collins Award for Canada West and the Fred Scambatti Award for youth sports for media coverage the last season. It was an honor.
She's a soldier. And I see you quite often, because I don't usually yell at you when I see you from across, but I see you lugging that gear into the Saddle Dome, and I'm like, can't they find somebody to do that for you? But you're like a one-man show.
Thank you. I've only put out my back twice.
So there, and one of the reasons she's here is I ran into her at a Surge game recently, and we talked about Ryan Strashnitsky, the Humboldt Broncos crash survivor, who you lined up to get here. And I thought that's awesome that Straz was here, but Cami can talk just as well too, so let's get Cami down here. And you're like, yes, I'm in. So thank you.
Hey, anytime. Okay. Straz is the best. I've actually known him I've seen him since he was a Leduc oil king way back in the day.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Were you kind of handling, when I say she's got her finger into a lot of things, you're not just a Swiss Army knife of broadcasting, you're helping him out too. We should tell people about that.
Oh, just helping people out. You know, he's got his launch charity golf tournament coming up, raising money for adaptive equipment, like that piece of equipment called the Paragolfer that is basically like the combo wheelchair golf cart that allows him to take a standing swing, which is really for anyone with any mobility issue. If you got MS, if you're just real stiff, whatever. But I just thought it was a really worthy cause, and Straz is a great guy, so I'll help him line up whatever I can.
So there you go. We have a very, very solid human being here today in Cami Kepke. And so I don't know if you know the format of our show. The opening segment or two, we get into the quick six show topics, which reminds me, Director Jordan, can you hit the horn, please? And we'll go from there. So we're going to hit what's up in sports, but then we're going to get into some more fun things with what she's doing, and I want your opinions, and I want to talk more about you. But number one, Bryce Harper hit 2 solo home runs last night. Aaron Nola pitched 5 innings to snap a 4-start winless streak, and the Philadelphia Phillies won for the first time in 4 games by beating the Toronto Blue Jays 9-4. Today's poll question is a producer Clark idea. Okay, so if you don't like it, blame him. It's a pretty good one, though.
How about that?
For Key Auto Group. Yeah, the all-new Sportage reimagines innovation in motion and urban SUV design with all the comforts for your next adventure. Order yours today at KeyYorktonKia.com or by calling 306-783-2772. The 2023 Kia Sportage, movement that inspires. The question is, are the Toronto Blue Jays a legitimate World Series contender? And I'm going to vote yes, because going into the year, I saw in all the power rankings, there were 6th, 7th, or 8th, depending on which one you looked at. They're getting Bo back. They've gotten Jordan Romano back. They're going to get Alek Manoah in top form, I think. Everything's coming together, Cami. I'm voting yes. They're a legit World Series contender. What are you voting? Yes or no?
I don't know if they're there yet. It is big getting those guys back, but
it helps. It all needs to go in the right direction, right? And I think it's going in the right direction. So are you saying no?
I'm going to say no for now.
Okay, that's perfect.
I'm going to say prove me wrong for now.
It's good for
I'm
a show
renting,
like
I'm
this.
not buying.
Okay, you're not buying stock. Yeah, exactly. Moving on. Week 11 in the CFL kicks off tonight. Canadian quarterback Trey Ford makes a 2nd straight start for the Edmonton Elks, who are looking for their first win of the CFL season in Hamilton. The 0-9 Elks are riding a 13-game losing streak. That's a franchise record. So when they lose tonight, it'll set another new record. By the way, I talked to Victor Cui today, the president of the former president of the Edmonton Elks, and he said out of respect for the Edmonton Football Club board, he's not doing any interviews because I tried to get him on tomorrow. He's like, down the line, we'll do it. Your take on Ticats Elks tonight. What do you think is going to go down?
Okay, on this one, I don't know if I fully believe this, but I want to believe it. I just want to believe that the Elks can snap this streak with Trey Ford at the helm. It's just been hard to watch, and I mean, you saying they haven't won this season is charitable at best.
They've been killed this season,
I'm going to say they win it tonight. I'm going to say tonight's the night because I don't think it's going to come down to Edmonton, Calgary. That would just be too perfect. And we can't have nice things. So I don't think it can come down to that. So I'm going to say it ends here.
Well, I think Hamilton's going to win tonight. They're favored by 5.5 going in at our exclusive betting partner, BetRegal. And until Edmonton shows me otherwise, there's still these Elks. There's still roadkill. So I'm going with Edmonton. She's going with Hamilton tonight. There's enough reason to watch right there.
But don't we see that in hockey all the time? You know, a coach gets canned, someone high up gets canned, and you get a little bit of a jolt for that, even if for just a short amount of time.
Some call it the dead cat bounce, and I am a believer in that. But if the president gets turfed, isn't that a little too high from the locker room that they would feel some guilt? It's the guilt factor. And I wonder how guilty they might feel. If it was their coach, I could see it.
Yeah, there might be more rot than guilt right now.
Right. I guess we'll find out tonight. Our CFL coverage is brought to you in part by Sober Carpenter, non-alcoholic craft beer. Check them out at sobercarpenter.com. We go fast here, so I hope you're paying attention. Point 3, Canada sees its first action at the Little League World Series tonight in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The Canadians, represented by the North Regina Little League All-Stars, meet Taiwan at Volunteer Stadium tonight. So be watching for that. NFL preseason tonight, Cleveland versus Philadelphia. And a couple quick ones here. Point 5, Patrick Cantley is the defending champion at the PGA's BMW Championship, which tees off today at Olympia Fields Country Club in Illinois. And our 6th and final point is this. The International Chess Federation has ruled that transgender women cannot compete in its official events for females until an assessment of gender change is made by officials. The decision by the Lausanne, Switzerland-based federation has drawn criticism from advocacy groups and supporters of transgender rights. We're through it all. Does anything tickle your fancy on that before I get into more fun topics?
Well, can we just stop demanding to look at people's genitals? But I will add one more to that list.
Yes.
WCBL Championship tonight. Medicine Hat Mavericks took down Okotoks last night. Okotoks tried to muster a pretty monstrous comeback. They came so close, but Game 3, big dance, goes tonight at Siemens Stadium, and the atmosphere has been amazing.
Well, tell me about that.
Year.
So it's Game 3 tonight?
Game 3, yeah.
Where were the first 2 games?
Game 1 in Okotoks, Game 2 Med Hat, Game 3 back here.
That's certainly easy for travel, right?
I mean, I'm glad they're not playing Fort McMurray.
Yeah, exactly. And that stadium in Okotoks obviously just won. I should mention, we had William on from the Okotoks Dogs, and he thanked me a week later, like just this week. They won the competition for the best collegiate stadium in North America. And he said as soon as he came on this show, they got a spike in votes, put him over the top. So go Dogs. But that stadium in Medicine Hat's pretty cool, too.
It is. No, there's actually like a lot of good barns in the WCBL, but I think Siemens Stadium, it's just unparalleled. And honestly, like $10 to go sit on the berm and watch some really good ball, you cannot beat that.
So there's your ad tonight in Okotoks, Game 3?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So now here's the more fun thing. Well, first, from our audience, Ryan in Toronto says, it's the wake-up call. Elks will win tonight. I'm with Cami on this one. There you go. Jordan Ewart writes in and says, wake up, Regina. We want a ball stadium. Brian in the Edmonton area says, days off. I can watch the RP show in my comfortable chair. Glad to have you, Brian. This is where I want to put the thinking caps on for everybody, because we're the most interactive show, Cami, on television, radio, or streaming. We just are. So I was thinking about this morning, about Matt Dunnigan. Saw him on TSN. We all love Matt. Mm-hmm. At least I do. And I think any CFL fan should. He doesn't get mentioned with the... I just saw him on television, so I started thinking about it. He didn't get mentioned with the greats of CFL quarterbacks like Warren Moon, Doug Flutie, even Jeff Garcia, who's going to be in town this week. And I just thought, who is the Mount Rushmore of your specific team? Because we had a vote last week, who's the best all-time Blue Jay? Robbie Alomar won it. Yeah. Whom are your teams? Who are the teams you root for?
That I root for?
Yeah, that you grew up rooting.
Okay, because it's very different now. I find as a reporter, more and more, I just root for players that I like and guys who have great storylines. Yeah, more so than a team. But growing up, I mean, I'm from BC, so it was all Canucks for me.
Fair. Thank you. So as I was saying, this is going to be an all...
And I played running back, so Seahawks. I was big into the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm not sure I could name the Mount Rushmore of the Seattle Seahawks, but that's my point.
Too much, yeah.
For any of the viewers and audience and listeners, because we're on the air in Atlanta, WQEE, who's your Mount Rushmore? So listen, 20 seasons with the Saskatchewan Roughriders that's where you and I met. Mm-hmm. Here are mine. I did spend a minute thinking on this. and I want the viewers to tell me your Mount Rushmore of your team. So I'll say Ron Lancaster, George Reed, Don Narcisse, and Bobby Jurison. No debate. Bobby, the greatest all-time sack leader in Rough Riders history. Ronnie, the passing leader. George, the rushing leader. Don, the receiving leader. That's easy. But for the Canucks, and Kevin the Medium's from Vancouver. Vancouver, as he says. You got to put a G in there. Vancouver. He was raised in East Vancouver. All-time Canucks, Mount Rushmore. And you can jump in on this.
Oh, good.
Creston, BC, right?
Just got a McDonald's. Get up.
How about that?
How about
You know,
you hear that?
there's a polygamous cult compound, I should say, on the outskirts of town.
Still?
Still, oh yeah. But there was a legend growing up that they had a McDonald's out there.
LFG.
Now you have a legit McDonald's.
Now we have an actual one.
Well, you could do who's the Mount Rushmore of McDonald's characters, which we Hamburglar, Grimace. Was the Cookie Monster that or Sesame Street?
Use Sesame Street.
Yeah, sorry.
I realize
on,
it's
Rod.
been a while for you.
Yeah, it's been a day or two. All-time fast food mascot, Mount Rushmore. Ronald McDonald, Colonel Sanders, the Burger King. So I know we are also, by the way, a family of squirrels around here. It's hard to stay on topic.
Yeah. Also put some respect on Wendy's name.
Wendy herself. Well, maybe Dave Thomas goes on there. I'm not sure. That was his daughter, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I could bring it back on point, you all heard my Mount Rushmore of Rough Riders. I'll say it again. Lancaster, Reed, Narcisse, Jurison. Vancouver Canucks. Kevin, I want your participation. For a lot of BC people today. Kevin's from East Van. You're from
Sedin's count
Creston.
as one.
What do you say?
Sedin's count as one.
That's a good one. One Sedin.
It has to be Trevor. It has to be Trevor Linden.
Trevor? Oh, he's first name basis, you guys? Well, yeah. Trevor is on Linden.
Not a lot of good Trevors
Number
out there,
60.
but there's at least
Pavel
one.
Bure, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biiig and Sedin's, if they count.
No, I'm with her. The Sedins count as one.
Okay.
What'd I
I'd say
say?
Stan Smeal.
She's sharp, this one.
Meal,
Stan Smeal.
I don't want to interject because I'm not from there.
Williams.
But Tiger Williams?
Ooh.
You gotta put them up there.
Yeah, I'm not against that.
They're
So
up there. Would you put him over Naslund, though?
I feel like I'm turning this over to the Vancouver people.
Yeah. Although, like, you know, when you look at the top five in franchise scoring across the NHL, it's insane how many teams just have like thousands of points. And then like there's some teams where it's like in the 400s, and Vancouver is really like beyond the Sedins, kind of in like the very much the middle of what you see for franchise points, which I guess like kind of makes sense for when they came into the league. But
Yeah, so listen, Clark, I want you to come up with your Mount Rushmore of Leafs. You can do that in the break, write it down, and people write it in the comment section. Who's the Mount Rushmore of your team? Because it's quite easy to come up with the one, right? And in some franchises, some arenas and stadiums, you could look up in the rafters and see the retired numbers. For instance, here in Calgary, it would be fairly easy. They're not all retired, but they're honored up there. Lanny, well, we'll put Theo even in there, even though he's not up there. Mike Vernon, Al McGinnis. It's not hard in Calgary. If you were to look up in Edmonton at Rogers Arena, there's too many names for four, but mine would be Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Grant Fuhr, Paul Coffey. That's easy. But
when
maybe
does McDavid make it?
win something.
Oh.
And you people from Vancouver can't talk about any of that.
I live 10 hours away from Vancouver.
Okay. So that's where we're going here. That's where we're going today, Mount Rushmore. We'll talk Stampeders, Leafs, you people in America, your teams, your all-time. It's a fantastic debate that just popped into my head today, all thanks to Matt Dunnigan. Cameron Hughes on the way. Kevin the Medium and Seth Anderson. We're live from Century Downs Racetrack and Casino on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BiiiG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It is Century Downs Racetrack and Casino, the place to be for the RP Show. No live harness racing this weekend. However, the next live racing is the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association World Finals next week, August 23rd to the 27th. Get your tickets at showpass.com. We'll be there in attendance. Get your tickets. Check it out. We'll have some drivers on the program next week. Cami Kepke's with us from Global Calgary and from the EMJ Marketing text line before we go any further. And by the way, EMJ Marketing, book your keynote speaker for your next event through EMJ Marketing. Contact Joe at emjmarketing.com today. They represent myself, Jim Barker, Stu Grimson, and a host of sports people. So join us for that. We can bring Cami on here. Just from the text line, Daryl in Sherwood Park writes, and he says, Rod, I know you hate us sending you links, but this is a great letter to the Edmonton Journal from former mayor and Eskimo Bill Smith. We need private ownership of the team and the stadium. Stephen in North Dakota writes in, and he says, greetings and no hallucinations from Corinth, North Dakota. What time is the RP show on in Newfoundland? What do I look like, TV guide?
4.5 hours.
Is it 4.5 hours?
Yeah, they get the extra half hour in Newfoundland.
2:30 p.m. He says, will the Elks show up on time tonight? Wait, they showed up early last week. They jumped out 22-0 up on Winnipeg and then folded. But as I said earlier, try to get Victor Cui on the air tomorrow. But Victor says out of respect for the Edmonton Football Club board, he's not doing any interviews at the time being. So, but Victor sends his regards. Now, here's the fun thing. I said we'd talk about more fun things. You've done pretty much everything in broadcasting? Anchoring, reporting, sideline.
Play-by-play.
Have you done play-by-play?
Yeah, that was how I got my start, actually.
Okay. How and where?
Well, I mean, I grew up in, like we were saying, a really small town, and there wasn't much there other than the Junior B Hockey Club, and they needed someone who could call penalties on the ice because there was no telephone to say, hey, hooking, holding. You just needed to be able to, like, kind of call things as they come.
Know the signals, yes.
Yeah, so basically they asked me to hop on and do play-by-play, and I was awful.
I don't believe that.
I was so bad. But I loved it, and I got better. So I went to broadcasting school at SAIT with the goal of doing play-by-play, but it kind of evolved into wanting to report. But went to Prince George, worked for a radio station, the dub team up there, and packed up my car and drove to New Brunswick. And
keep going, yes.
Yeah, New Brunswick, I was with CTV Atlantic out there, covering a lot of sports. Covered the Habs for the first time out there. Shared an elevator with Mike Babcock, which was
How was that?
He just kind of grunted at
He's
me.
about twice the size of you.
I was carrying all my gear, too. And I had to take it on the subway in Montreal. Yeah, so I just kind of looked at him like, hi.
He's a big guy.
I was all sweaty. Yeah, he was fine. He just kind of like nodded at me. And
I like Babs.
Yeah, but I did some color commentary on the radio for the Moncton Wildcats out there, the St. John Sea Dogs. This was the Connor Garland glory days. And there was also a young man kicking around by the name of Jacob Pelchier.
Calgary Flame, future great. Okay.
Future great, yeah. Then Regina, where we met, and now Calgary.
Right. It's been great and still going. Right,
Still
the
rolling.
best is yet to come. So, by the way, I love the responses from people regarding their franchises, Mount Rushmore. So, before the end of this segment, I'll get to it. And if Cameron Hughes is watching, he's an Ottawa guy. I want his Mount Rushmore of mascots because his Yoda is Crazy George. That's his Yoda. Yeah. So, yeah, BC Lions guy, right? So, squirrel moment. We've got Habs, Mount Rushmore, Devils, Winnipeg Jets. Hey, Allie, you want to give us...
Who's on the Devils one?
Well, thanks for asking. This is from Ryan.
On there?
Ryan in Saratoga, New York. Says Mount Rushmore, the New Jersey Devils, Martin Brodeur, Scott Stevens, Ken Danico, Patrick Elias.
Swap Danico for Niedermeyer. And I'm with you.
How about that?
Is that the BC bias?
Bingo.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured.
No, he's also excellent.
Excellent. No, I agree.
Most excellent.
Yeah. That's a lot of Stanley Cups between all those guys. Ted in Red Deer says the Habs, Mount Rushmore, Rocket Richard, Jean Béliveau, Ken Dryden, Larry Robinson. He says, I'm coming to see you live tomorrow. We'll be here, Ted in Red Deer, with bells on. 10 to noon. And from the Winnipeg Jets, Randy in Winnipeg's getting fancy. He's split it up between WHA and NHL.
Ooh.
He says Hedberg, Hull, Nielsen, and Daly. And Winnipeg is in our top 3 for cities for viewership. So I was scratching my head at Winnipeg Jets. I don't know if you want to take a swing on that or not, but obviously Dale Howard-Chuck, obviously Teemu Solani. The list gets short after that. Laurie Boschman? Seriously? Maybe? Morris Lukowicz?
Hey!
Who we
50
were talking,
bombs, 50 bombs.
Who we were talking about earlier, and a goalie? Stefan Beauregard? Pokey Reddick? Maybe Connor Hellebuck.
I was going to say, it's harder to, like, it feels a little more difficult to include the modern players, but that probably is where a franchise like the Winnipeg Jets
They have to. Ilya Kovalchuk? You talking about Atlanta Thrashers? No, we just forget them. Sorry, Ryan O'Radio listening in Atlanta right now on WQEE.
Remember when people got so fired up about the potential of a CFL team being named the Halifax Explosions? And everyone's like, that is super offensive. I'm like, the Atlanta Flames existed.
Right, but...
You're not wrong, but the Atlanta
they're talking
Flames
about the
existed.
harbor explosion
Yeah,
in
well, I'm
Halifax.
talking about the burning of Atlanta.
I didn't know about that. Let's hear from the people in Atlanta. You people in Atlanta.
Someone's never seen Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch it. You don't need to watch it.
that?
It's already done.
Told you she's good. I think Karen wants you to take over this show. Have you seen Barbie yet?
Yes.
2 thumbs up.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I don't know why I went.
It was like you didn't think it was funny?
I fell asleep for one. I didn't wear pink. Did you wear pink?
I wore a pink hoodie that had the Grizzlies logo, but instead of a basketball, the bear is holding a skull. And it says existential dread, which I feel like was very in theme with the movie.
This was more of an adult movie than a kid's movie. It was
absolutely.
too deep for a dummy like me. Yeah, I
felt it. I felt it in my soul.
I feel like a lot of people who played with Barbies all did.
I didn't really play with Barbies, though.
Oh, well, whatever it was. Hey, I'm not telling you not to go. But if you go, don't blame me. Yeah.
Go.
So
you'll howl at the very last line in the movie.
What was it? It was
I'm not
the
spoiling
graphic.
it. When she goes to the office, she would.
Yeah, I checked out by then.
All right.
But at least I was still there because I walked out of
Karen knows what I'm
Oppenheimer.
talking about.
She knows. She knows. I walked out of Oppenheimer with an hour to go. I already been there. I've been there for 2 hours. Have you seen Oppenheimer?
I have not. I need some escapism.
Pack a lunch. It's 3 hours long.
I can't sit still for that long.
No.
I don't know how you do 2 hours.
We're not through it yet. But this is where she said that we would have the real fun discussion. The reason I asked what she's done in the broadcast industry is because I find doing sidelines by far the hardest role in this business. And I've done it all too. I've anchored, I've done radio, I've play-by-play, obviously this. I find it the hardest. But you do that.
Why?
Because the players and coaches are usually in a really bad mood. And my job was, I was on the visitors' sideline, which the road team usually loses. So the teams were very untrusting of who's this guy asking for our injury stuff. And why is he trying to interview our player? He works for the Riders, the Rider Radio. Why does he want to interview our? It was hard to get interviews. I didn't like it at all. But I did it when I was 18 on Rough Riders broadcast. So when you get thrown into the deep end first, everything's easy after that. Mm-hmm. I guess you found the same thing with play-by-play, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
So
I think play-by-play is so much more difficult.
What do you like about sidelines?
What I really like about sidelines is that you have a very short amount of time to try to draw back the curtain and bring the viewer into what is going on from the player or the coach's perspective. The difficult thing about it is that you generally have about 3 questions, so you can't get too deep into anything, and you don't want to ask the same thing over and over again. The same way that a play-by-play announcer doesn't want to have that vocal crutch where they use the same word over and over again. So I think that's where the challenge is, but I found, especially with the Calgary Surge and all the other CEBL teams, they were just so easy to deal with. The guys were so charismatic, and you don't get some of those canned answers that I think we kind of associate with hockey. You don't get so much of that. And every now and then when you do get to build those relationships with those players and you know kind of what's going on behind the scenes, you're able to step in with, that one question that does really bring people in the moment and understand the humanity of the game and kind of take it to another level.
Well, I'll tell you what, COVID really laid a licking on sports in that the rich got richer and the poor got poorer. The NHL, the NFL, they're all fine, got bigger. But those lower level sports, and let's be honest, they are. The CEBL's still a pro league. Players are being paid, but they're not being paid a lot. It's a summer league. Have you ever seen a league, because I haven't, where the players get on the mic and thank the fans for coming?
The Surge had like a celebration down at Century Gardens.
Yeah,
Tuesday. And like a lot of people came out and they have the basketball courts down there. And all these kids showed up at noon on a Tuesday. And, the players remember their names and the kids remember the players because they've gone to clinics that the team has put on. And it was just so cool to see that. And I think I would include the CPL in this as well. It's amazing that these 2 very young leagues essentially started at the worst time you could, a year or 2 before the pandemic hit, and they're still rolling well now and still looking at expansion. The CEBL has the Clash coming up in Quebec City, so we'll finally have someone else playing out of the Videotron Center.
I haven't been there. Have you been there?
I looked at the outside once. I tried to go inside. I was driving through and I wanted to look inside, but it was locked. It looked beautiful.
Yeah, Cami, Kepke.
I would love to see the Nordiques back.
Don't hold your breath.
I know.
Ryan in Saratoga, New York says, by the way, Cami, let me tell you about an Adirondack Flames mascot named Scorch.
Scorch. That was so bad. Do you remember that?
No.
So the team went to launch this mascot on social media, and they had like what was supposed to be like a dead fireman mannequin at the ground by Scorch, like Scorch had killed him.
It's got disaster written all over it. Clearly
it was like the way Gritty could have gone, but didn't.
But didn't. Okay. Oh, boy. Andrew says the Flame. Do you even know who the Flame was? He was not a mascot per se, but he was a Rough Rider fan who lit his hard helmet on fire after a touchdown.
Stop.
Until the incident. Thank you for remembering, Andrew. God bless and rest in peace, the Flame. Glenn in Medicine Hat says Mount Rushmore for the Regina Pats.
Ooh.
Dennis Sobchuk, Ed Stanowski, Dale Durkach, Connor Bedard. Boom. That's a gooder.
Sold.
Yeah, approved.
Also, one of the best uniforms in junior hockey,
the Pats?
like, across Canada.
And all of hockey, I would suggest.
Yeah,
but that's my favorite all-time team.
Even their third jersey with like kind of the
red
cream.
Oh, well, they've had a few.
Yeah, they've had some great ones.
Gets my heart racing.
Yeah.
Brian in Edmonton says, do they serve breakfast at Century Downs?
Yes, they do.
Oh, do they? Every day, and Wednesday's the day you especially want to be down here. So come on down next Wednesday. And Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Bob Essenza is the goalie on the Jets Mount Rushmore of Winnipeg Jets. Cami, we've reached the end of our time. Can you believe it?
Already?
Yeah, it's been 40 minutes.
Heck yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Hopefully we can do it again when we're back. And thanks for all the great stuff you've done for me here. I really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. You got my number.
All right, absolutely. Cami, Kepke, Global Calgary, and so many other great things. Okay, Cameron Hughes, I know you're lined up and ready to go. The world super fan. I want your Mount Rushmore. What would you call them? Not mascots. Rebel rousers? Whatever it is you do. Professional fans. There's a fly buzzing around me. Sorry. We'll be back with more from Century Downs Racetrack and Casino after this timeout on the Game Plus Television Network. That's channel 924 on TELUS. Optic Television in Manitoba, in Alberta and BC. Also WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Century Downs Racetrack and Casino presents the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association Finals. Be here when the wagons roll August 23rd to 27th. Single-day tickets and 5-day passes available at showpass.com. Century Downs, welcome to the winner's zone.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We're live from Century Downs Racetrack and Casino having big fun, and I got a text from my friend Dale. I love it. He says, thanks for the shout-out. You are enjoying this segment. I can see it in your face. So put a little more thinking on. What's the Mount Rushmore of your favorite team? And I'll get to more. I got the Red Wings in here. Detroit, obviously, some CFL teams. But let's bring him in now. Professional fan, our good friend Cameron Hughes. Hey, but I couldn't wait to see what he was going to have. What's up, bro?
A little Ken for you today, but you know what? It's been a while since I've seen you. Last time I was at Roger Federer's last match. I'm not going to get all Ken on you. I did a Bishop's football alumni event down in Lennoxville, Quebec. Where else was I? Oh, I did a Cavs game. I fired up the Atlanta Falcons, Rod. 75,000 people. Unbelievable atmosphere. Oh, and then I went over to my good friends in Ottawa. We got a new owner. Exciting times there. Oh, yeah, baby. And then I shook it up with Condors Town. Yeah, home of the Condors, baby. And we got the Colorado Eagles. We got the Kamloops Blazers. Your very own Golden Knights. I was there for the Stanley Cup game. Your Bombers, unbelievable. First time there a couple of weeks ago. But let's rock it today, Rod. Let's go.
Highway to hell, man. You've been busy. Do you ever rest, dude? Do you ever rest?
I'm resting right now. I've got a couple of weeks off. It feels really good. Figuring out what the season ahead looks like. Like in my business, seriously, you never know where the calls come from. Who's sitting in a boardroom right now going, we got to bring that guy in, or we got to do this, or we got to make this happen, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Tell me about the Falcons. Hashtag Rise Up. We're on the radio in Atlanta, WQEE Radio. I saw your picks, man. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, is that the best stadium going?
The stadium is unbelievable. A couple of reasons. It's wide. The prices for all the beer and food are the lowest in the NFL. And there's no jumbotron in the middle of the arena, the stadium. You actually watch the game. It's this crazy concept. And my hit, the guys beside me were like, dude, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just about to, yeah, I'm good. And they're like, okay, man, what's going on here? And then I went for it, ripped open the jersey, had the Pitts jersey on. Next thing I know, everyone's tweeting it out like, I hope Pitts is in your fantasy pool today. It was amazing. Electric atmosphere.
Yeah, I saw all your photos. I'm like, I'm going to get to Atlanta this year for a game, no doubt. Before we get into the reason why you're here, I teed you up on this. Who's the Mount Rushmore of professional fans, or whatever it is you guys call yourselves? You know what I'm saying. Who's on it?
Entertainers? Well, I happen to have this. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy? Crazy George. Remember him?
I knew you'd say him. He's the GOAT.
Crazy George with the shorts and the drum, an original. I'm a big fan of the people that are in the actual stands, which, is hard because you don't have the cues and you've got to be like with people. Like you can't mess up live. So I love Crazy George. There was a guy back when I was a Rough Riders fan in Ottawa as a kid. I was more mesmerized by him. He had the big helmet on than I was about, the guys on the field. And he inspired me when I was like 10 or 11 to be like, I was like, Dad, look at this guy. He's like, watch the game, watch Tony Gabriel. I like when the teams empower that fan. You know what I mean? Where they go, let's make this guy or girl like extra special in the arena, and the fans buy into that.
Well, There are so many. So I don't want to miss any, but off the top of my head, I'm putting on Crazy George, Cameron Hughes, Morgana, geez, top of the list, right? I don't know who the fourth. San Diego Chicken. San Diego Chicken,
a pioneer. I mean, was making $1 million a year on a tour bus traveling around sporting events, 15, 20 years ago. I also think, you remember the Clown Prince of Baseball? He used to go around in the baseball
he was
games,
great.
and there was Myron Noodleman was a guy who did a Jerry Lewis. He inspired me. I also think that there's mascots like Moondog in Cleveland, who I like the mascots, the entertainers. They get into the stands, they get dirty, they get gritty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Jen from the Four Seasons writes in. She says, I love your energy. John in Edmonton says, the super fan at the Oilers games who paints his face and has the drum, he's on a Mount Rushmore somewhere. Brian in Edmonton says there's a gorilla at Elks games. What?
Back to my point, like if you're the team executive and you see the guy in Edmonton, I know who he's talking about, he's banging the drum. I'm like, taking that guy out for lunch and beers and empowering him, engaging him, saying, we love what you do, right? You need more of that. Because that guy literally one day said to his wife going, honey, I'm going to paint my face and bring a drum to the game. And his wife's like, no. And he does it and the fans love it. And then boom,
What about the Elks? A fan shows up with a paper bag on his head a couple home games ago and they kicked him out. What do you think about that?
Do you remember, and I'm going to get his name wrong, but I think his name was Dave. He's from Saskatchewan. He used to have the flag.
We talked Sandy the Flame?
No, not the Flame.
Dave
guy.
Ash. Dave Ash.
Yes.
Dave Ash. Yeah.
So I have a story about him. So he, at the Vancouver Olympics, I don't know if you know this story, where he had the pole and he'd go to every Canada game and I would see him and he messaged me somehow before the gold medal game going, you need to help me sneak in my stick to get the flag up. And I was like, dude, I don't know how. And I was like, okay, I was trying to work with him. Next thing I know, you see him holding the stick and he throws it over and that's the flag that Crosby had. He was a legend.
Wow.
Rest in
That was
peace.
a golf ball retriever. Yeah, golf ball retriever. Hey, Dave Ash, Dash Tours, one call and you're there. He's on the Mount Rushmore of tour operators for sure. He's standing atop the mountain. Okay. We're only got a couple minutes left. The audio version of your best-selling book is available. Tell us about it.
It is, yeah. I decided to bring the book to life. I've got all these stories, and I wanted it to come from me. Everyone's like, did you narrate it? I'm like, yeah, who'd you think I was going to get? And we added all the stories, Rod, from when the book ended. The book ended before the pandemic, right? The last game I did was with the Golden Knights. So we added all the stories from the Falcons to doing the Laver Cup, Roger Federer's match, to all sorts of fun, going to Australia, all these little things. And also some unique thoughts about how important crowds are. Like I added I used my sociology degree to add a bit more flavor. What's that?
You finally used your degree. Yes, continue.
Yes. But I added the elements of like how important crowds are, how important the live experience is. To add some extra flavor. And I got all the stories from, your favorite Atlanta, Thrashers jersey to arguably, is this the ugliest or best jersey you've ever seen? I mean, seriously. So I added all the stories from the big games to the minor league games to what inspired me to do this, to the people I've met, to the highs and lows. And I'm super proud of it, Rod. And the other thing is, everyone who added a quote or an anecdote or a story, it's their voice in the audiobook. It's not anyone else's, it's theirs.
That's amazing. And when you said you bring your stories to life, I got to say this because I read your book and I read it within a couple of days, very fast. And my favorite, you brought those places to life. You take the readers inside those East Coast League barns, literal barns, Southern Pro League, Central Hockey League, right? Like I felt like I was there. So you're saying the book is even a little more of that? Or the audio?
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away, Rod, and thank you for saying that, but I go deeper. One of the things that happened, and I told the guy directing it, I said, if I'm talking about something that was emotional, whether it was the loss of my mom as a kid or a friend or being in a game and how much I love doing this, I said, you have to put that in. Don't edit me out. This is who I am, right? And you read my book, you sent me a lovely note about it, and I'm like, this is me, and it's felt good just to put it all out there. It was a hard process to do, but it feels rewarding to share the stories. And I mean, even your Regina Pats might be in there.
God's team. I've seen you at the games, man. I was sitting right beside you before I even met you going, that looks really tiring. Where can people get the audio book, Cameron?
They can go on Audible. They can go on CameronHughes.tv to get the book and hear more stories. And always appreciate your support and all your great viewers.
Love you, buddy. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Thank you. Big cheer to all of you.
The great Cameron Hughes joining us from parts unknown. We have a sports update coming up. Audience takeover. Kevin the Medium and Seth Anderson in hour 2. We're live on the Game Plus television network all across Canada and 31 U.S. states, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me in Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. Biiig, always delivering the best fan experience.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
RP Show continuing from Century Downs Racetrack and Casino. As you see, it's awfully quiet out there today. No live racing this weekend, but there will be firing up next Wednesday for 5 nights, the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association World Finals. Get your tickets at showpass.com, and we will see you there at Century Downs. It's been such a wonderful home to the RP Show this summer. So before I jump into that sports update, you're going to realize we owns the 55-plus age demographic in television across Canada. Not yet in the States, but we're getting there. You'll know by our EMJ marketing text line responses to who's the Mount Rushmore of your team, or whatever category you want. I could sit here and talk about Mount Rushmores of talk show hosts, play-by-play guys, sober and recovery coaches, my other career. I could do it forever. Professional poker players and gamblers. Be thinking about that, Kevin. The Mount Rushmore of professional gamblers. If you want to say Kenny Rogers, you can. Wilf in Steinbach, Manitoba writes in on the EMJ marketing text line, and he says, for the Jets, he says, Howard Chuck, Kachuk, Solani, and Carlisle. How about that, Clark? No goalies. And I understand why. He says, as far as super fans, Dancing Gabe.
I like it.
He's in the running. Bill Dalby watching in Brantford, Ontario. Haven't heard from you for a while, Bill. Hope you've had a good summer. Montreal Canadien. He says Jean Beliveau, Ken Dryden, Yvonne Cornwallier, Serge Savard, Guy Lafleur. That's 5. There is no Mount Rushmore with 5 faces that I've seen. From Twisted Mike, watching in Regina. He says, my Mount Rushmore for my Detroit Red Wings. Gordie Howe, Steve Yzerman, Terry Sawchuk, Alex Delvecchio.
How about that?
Respect. Dougal Cameron here in Calgary. Stampeders, Peter Lisk, Wayne Harris, Terry Evanshen, Herm Harrison, John Helton. These were my first Stamps idols of the 60s. Guys, you can only have 4. Talk show hosts. Let me think about it for a while. 1 minute already? Okay, Canadian quarterback Trey Ford makes a second straight start for the Elks, who are looking for their first win of the CFL season tonight in Hamilton. The 0-9 Elks visiting the 3-5 Ticats. Blue Jays have the day off today ahead of an interleague series with the Reds in Cincy. Jays fell 9-4 Wednesday night to the Philadelphia Phillies at Rogers Center. Phillies slugger Bryce Harper homered twice for the winning side. The sports update for Landmark Cinemas in theaters now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. And why not? Now's the time to enter to win a movie night out at Landmark Cinemas for movie lovers only. All you have to do is text MOVIES to 902-518-3033 to be entered. Winners are picked every Friday to enjoy a movie night out this weekend. Kevin the Medium, Seth Anderson next hour. I'll be departing a little early to go MC Theo's golf tournament along with Colin Patterson at the Winston. You can join us there too. We'll be right back after this brief pause on Game Plus and the Key Radio.
We're all capable of doing more. More speed, more reps, more commitment to getting every detail perfect. And that's why it's important we never miss a donation appointment. Blood and plasma donors are needed every day in Canada to support thousands of patients that rely on Canada's lifeline. We're asking you to join the Hockey Gives Blood Partners for Life team. Join today by downloading the Give Blood app or book online at blood.ca/HGB.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. Biiig, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Right now, I'm wearing headphones, rocking it back old school radio days.
How about that?
And somebody said it looks like I'm plugged into a Walkman. And I remember when I got my first Walkman, because my brothers and I had to share it. And I was the youngest, so how often do you think I got it? And you had your case of cassettes, and then people started to crap on your music selection. And I'm like, then bring yours then! How many times did we have that conversation at parties?
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Welcome, everybody, to the RP Show, Hour 2. Coming in hot live from Century Downs Racetrack and Casino in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. One of the finest cities on the globe. It's episode number 1062. And we're on Game Plus Television, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live. We've had a fun show that will continue as Kevin the Medium joins us here in Hour 2. What's up, Kev?
What a great fun first hour.
Yes, it was.
It was fast.
What makes you say that it was so much fun?
Cami is like a little fireball. You got to have her on more often.
I agree. So let's recap for the people that weren't with us in Hour 1. Shame on you if you weren't. But Cami Kepke was here. And just so you know, she's with Global Calgary now, but she's worked with a variety of sports broadcasts and news outlets in her very young career. Like, what is
when she listed off everything she did, I was like, hold it, you're like in your 20s, I'm sure. Like,
and she's done everything already. So she's funny. She, what do they say? Gives no quarter, stands back, chucks haymakers.
Yeah.
Very entertaining. And I would suggest coming to a national network near you soon. So Cami was with us. In terms of the debates and the topics and what we got going on, I was just thinking this morning, it was because Matt Dunnigan popped up on my TV screen. I believe that's where it was. And I got thinking about how Matty doesn't get his due. I love me some Matt Dunnigan. I think anybody who knows him does. And I'm like, why is he not up there in the greats of Canadian Football League quarterbacks, the pride of Dallas, Texas, Matt Dunnigan? like the Warren Moons and the Doug Flutys and these guys.
Well, he's got to be mentioned in that handful.
I think so, but you just don't normally hear that.
No, you hear Moon.
That's what I'm saying. But he is in that realm, but you don't hear his name.
No.
So I thought, who's on the Mount Rushmore quarterbacks? And then I got thinking more and more, and I'm like, who's on the Mount Rushmore of Saskatchewan Roughriders, the team that I grew up cheering for in the CFL and worked for 20 years as the voice of the team? And I said, Ron Lancaster, George Reed, Don Narcisse, Bobby Jurison. We got reaction from all across our viewership. So they are great. Allie's watching in Texas. She says, I love Mount Rushmore discussions. For movies and sports teams, there's so much fun. John in Edmonton says, how about the Mount Rushmore of hockey arenas or Mount Rushmore of CFL stadiums? How about that? Pretty hard to fit a stadium on the side of a mountain. Chiseling out a face is a lot easier.
How about
Just saying.
that? Oh,
Jay Miller in Winnipeg says, Jets, Mount Rushmore, Dale Howard-Chuck, Dale Howard-Chuck, Dale Howard-Chuck, Dale Howard-Chuck. That's good.
Well done.
Monty in Saskatoon says, go Hamilton tonight. Ticats taking on the Edmonton Elks. And we'll get to that game. We're going to play CFL Deal or No Deal this hour. I want to go back and find Troy in Toronto checking in. Here he is. For the Mount Rushmore of the Leafs, which, by the way, Clark, you haven't given me yours yet. Doug Gilmore. Oh, is it? I didn't see it. Doug Gilmore, Wendell Clark, and Tiger Williams. Hey, Troy, that's 3.
They can't figure this out. They're giving 5. They're
Why
giving
is this
3.
so hard?
4 people. 4.
Yeah, and Ted in Red Deer. Let's make this simple. He says the Mount Rushmore of mascots: San Diego Chicken, Philly Fanatic, Crazy George, Ralph the Dog / Gainer the Gopher. If you ask Cameron Hughes, who was also with us last hour, a professional fan, if you called him a mascot, he'd slap you across the face. He ain't a mascot.
He's not. He's a cheer.
Yeah, he's a professional fan.
Yes.
And so I get where you're coming from, Ted. Like the San Diego Chicken, you would think that he's a mascot. But he traveled all over North America, maybe the world.
He
wasn't a mascot.
He was the most famous mascot, wouldn't you say?
Well, I believe Cam said he stands alone.
Oh, yeah.
So do you remember Morgana, the Kissing Bandit?
Oh, yes.
How can you not?
That was a long time ago.
Well, I'm old.
So Mount Rushmore, BC Lions. Do I even need to start?
Yeah, I want to know.
Louis, of course, number 1. Throwing Samoan.
Joe Paupow.
Joe Paupow. Flutie. And G-Roy Simon.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's hot.
What's interesting with these Mount Rushmores, nobody's including coaches, and I don't want coaches included. They have their own category. This is for players, right? I think that's fair.
That's fair. Do you put Wally as one of the best?
No.
Coaches?
Wally has 2 faces on the Mount Rushmore, one for Calgary, one for BC.
Yeah.
And then you got Don Matthews, and then it gets murky. There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot. You gotta put Huffnagel in there, don't you?
Couple of Grey Cups, absolutely. Jeff the Stamps fan says Kevin is way off on your BC Lions Mount Rushmore. Hey, you're from there, you're a fan. There's no wrong answer to this. So don't listen to Jeff the Stamps
I could
fan.
say the sky is blue, and Jeff the Stamps fan is going to say no.
I know.
It's green.
That's what, hey, guys like him are just right for the party. Troy in Toronto says, because he only had 3 Leafs, I'll throw in Boreas Alming there. He says, I'm Canadian. I have no idea how many presidents were on Mount Rushmore. Ever seen a history book? This is cool. Stacy, watching from Access World Headquarters, says the Kings, Mount Rushmore. Wayne Gretzky, Marcel Dion, Luc Robitaille, Anze Kopitar.
Oh, I like that one.
Bring them. See, because you got to think about it. It's easy to come up with the greatest. Pretty easy.
Yes.
1, but to come up with 4 ain't that easy, and it's a fun debate. Kyle in Winnipeg says Mount Rushmore of Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Zach Caleros, Andrew Harris, Milt Stiegel, and Kenny frickin' Lawler. This kid thinks the world started in 2019.
I was going to say, how old is this guy? 12?
Which is fine. We appeal to all ages. There's no doubt. Jeff, the Stamps fan, wants to clarify. I would never say the sky is green. That's a Riders color.
See, I'm wrong again.
Pa-dum-bum. These are fun, very fun debates. Where's John Ohm today, by the way? We scare him off?
I think because you kind of threw him under the bus with the whole Colaris.
I didn't throw him under the bus. He threw himself under the bus, and somebody else pointed it out, not me.
It was me.
It was you, exactly.
It was me.
Jay in Winnipeg says, tough guys, Mount Rushmore. And now we're getting somewhere. Ooh. Mount Rushmore of tough guys in the National Hockey League. He says he says Proby. They're all going by for one name here, like they're Cher or Seal. He says, wait a minute, now the comments are coming in like crazy. They're slipping off my page. Where did it go? He goes, Proby, Semenk, Tiger, and then he says, Oglethorpe.
Who?
I know you don't know. It's from the movie Slapshot. The fictional goon from the movie Slapshot, Ogie Oglethorpe. You better hope Serena's not watching right now, man.
I'm thinking hockey players. I didn't go to movies.
She's going to put you on suspension for a month. From Elam, from the crowd, says, how bad are the Elks going to blow it again tonight? Hang on till the next segment. That's when we're going to play CFL Deal or No Deal, because the Canadian Football League really is Kevin's mojo flow. Next segment, we'll talk about tonight's games in the CFL. We're just having far too much fun with the Mount Rushmore debate.
How did we get on the Mount Rushmore debate?
I said it twice. I'll say it for a third time for the benefit of you Stamps fans. I said I was thinking of Matt Dunnigan this morning.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Bo, for the Stamps, Bo, Alan Pitts, Wayne Harris, John Cornish. Hey, you're a little older than me, but not much.
Not much.
We need to tell a story about what went down yesterday with our newest sponsor, but people really need to realize there was a century before 2000 when it comes to sports.
And I don't know if you could put Bo. I mean, yeah, he was good.
He's the all-time leading passer here, so he's got more Grey Cups here than Flutie.
I guess so. Not a fan, so.
As I've learned, not too many people are.
4 down Bo.
4 down Bo? What the hell's that mean?
He was, during the last off season, there was a big debate whether the CFL should go to 4 downs. He literally was the only player that came out and said it would be a good thing for the CFL to go to 4 downs.
Yeah. Let that go.
I'm not going to let that go.
Okay. Viewer Paul says Leafs, Mount Rushmore, Dave Keon, Daryl Sittler, Wendell Clark, Matt Sundin. Now we're talking.
I like it.
Now we're talking. For a franchise that's been around over 100 years, I'd like to have a few that played before the year 2000. Chad in Coaldale, Alberta, writes in, he says, Sports Media Mount Rushmore. Don Cherry, Buck Martinez, Chris Cuthbert, Rod Pedersen. And he even spelt my name right.
Did he?
Nice work, Chad. Thank you. Checks in the mail. What a fun
He just knew his comment was going to be read if he put Rod in there.
You know what's funny about it? Yeah, exactly. You do the same.
I do it.
That Troy in Toronto, it's funny. Something happens that he doesn't catch up with us until hour 2. So he says the Mount Rushmore of fast food. We talked about that last hour.
Yeah.
We said who was the Mount Rushmore of restaurant mascots.
Well, Ronald McDonald has to be number 1. Every kid that his first words
Colonel Sanders would beg to differ.
Colonel would be in
the Burger King.
But you ask any 6-year-old which restaurant, fast food restaurant they want to go to, they're not going to say KFC. They're going to say McDonald's.
for whatever reason, if that's because of the mascot.
It's not because the good food.
Okay, fair. Okay, you got me. Troy in Toronto says the Mount Rushmore fast food: McDonald's, Wendy's, Five Guys, Chick-fil-A. And we talked about their mascots or their reps, who was the Mount Rushmore of that. So that's funny. Speaking of business, before we will get serious, trust me, at some point here on Game Plus Television, WQEE, podcast and YouTube Live, we had a funny little incident yesterday. We're welcoming a brand new, I thought it was funny, a brand new partner to the RP Show. It's Overtime Hockey Lanes here in Calgary, where skill and fun collide. If you talk to Randy and his wonderful wife, Michelle, they'll tell you that it's batting cages for hockey.
Yes.
And they also said we want to be like axe throwing, but for hockey fans, because they got a bar, they got a restaurant, they got all these lanes to come down and shoot. So, do you want to tell your version of the story, and then I'll tell the truth?
My version of the story, then the truth. My version of the story is I'm standing there talking to Michelle, minding my own business.
Trash talking me.
I was minding my own business, having a very nice conversation with Michelle, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a hockey ball come at my face. I maneuver so that it hits the brim of my hat and not this pretty face of mine, and it knocked my hat off.
The William Tell of hockey. I didn't come up with it. Cami did. So that's Kevin's version of events. Basically, I went into the lane to start shooting, and he says to Michelle, this Rod fancies himself as a bit of a hockey player, but he's not really. He was a goalie. And I turned around.
Dude, you hadn't hit. There was bells. There was like cowbells on a goalie net.
Yeah.
There was 8 of them. You couldn't hit one.
So I turned and shot a ball, and it knocked the brim of his hat off.
It could have been serious. It could have hit me in the glass. I do wear glasses. It could have hit my glasses, broken glass in the eyeball. It could have been serious.
It would have been an improvement. So the funny thing is, Michelle says, you guys, I got to tell the kids that come in here not to shoot at each other, and you're doing it. You haven't been in here 2 minutes. I said, well, tell him to shut his mouth.
And it literally was like within the first 5 minutes that we were there.
I'm shooting at him. Oh, I love it. I love it. Overtime Hockey Lanes. You're going to be hearing a lot about them. They bring you overtime. And Randy and Michelle run it. And it's just, they haven't even been open a year. But it's batting cages for hockey. And if you love hockey, which, let's be honest, we're in Canada, you will walk in there and think you died and went to heaven.
It is.
How's that?
Disneyland for hockey players.
Yes.
It's golf. What did I read? Golf has its batting cages. Golf has its driving range. Baseball has its batting cages. And hockey now has overtime lanes. Because it was cool. It was some of the stuff you could do in there. You could spend hours and hours in there with your buddies.
Yeah, I didn't really want to leave. I did not really want to leave.
I had to drag him out.
I was having a lot of fun. And I don't BS you people.
What was that machine that you got all excited about?
It was the bony puck shooting machine, which I haven't seen in 40 years.
Yeah.
I kind of saw it tucked under a curtain. And I said to Michelle, is that a puck shooting machine? She's like, yeah. I said, a bony? And she's like, yeah. Like, how do you know? Because nobody's even heard about these things for 40 years. So now you got a bony puck shooting machine.
You got to picture this. This is tucked behind a curtain somewhere. Rod just grabs it, drags it out into the goalie rink, and sets it up.
Starts shooting pucks. I'm like, this is the greatest place ever. It's an amusement park.
That's a good way to...
For hockey players.
Yes. If you're in Calgary, in the Calgary area, they're in the northeast. I look them up. It's Overtime
Hockey Lanes.
OL.
On Instagram, they're not hard to find. On Twitter, Overtime HL22. Overtime Hockey Lanes on Instagram. So before we break and come back and get serious about stuff, from the crowd, Allie in Texas says, it sounds like heaven for me. Too bad I'll never see anything like that in Texas. Well, come on up to Calgary. We got to get everybody here. This, I think it could really take off. Allie says, by the way, Mount Rushmore fast food, Jack in the Box, Wendy's, BK, Ronald McDonald.
Oh,
Elam says Mount Rushmore of goalies, Dominic Hasek, Patrick Roy, Martin Brodeur, Georges Vezina.
Ooh.
I can't even argue with that. You nailed it. And I'm a goalie guy.
I'm hungry now.
You nailed it. I know,
Jack
right?
in the box.
Jay in Winnipeg says Mount Rushmore Flames, Lanny, Nieuwendyk, McGinnis, Iggy. I'm putting Theo in there. Scott in Toronto says Ottawa football Mount Rushmore. Russ Jackson, Tony Gabriel, Brad Sinopoli, Jeff Avery. Not bad at all. When we come back, we'll play CFL Deal or No Deal. Seth Anderson going to join us live here too. In a while, we are live from Century Downs Racetrack and Casino on the Game Plus Television Network, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpetersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at rodpetersenshop.com.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Century Downs Racetrack and Casino presents the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association Finals. Be here when the wagons roll August 23rd to 27th. Single-day tickets and 5-day passes available at showpass.com. Century Downs, welcome to the winner's zone.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
We're at Century Downs Racetrack and Casino, right beside Cross Iron Mills here in beautiful Calgary, Alberta. Come on down and check us out, especially next week during the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association World Finals. Yes, I'm wearing the robe. We're going to be playing Bet Regal's Deal or No Deal coming up. But man, did we hit on a fun, very fun topic today. That's the Mount Rushmore of sports. And just to prove to anybody that needs to know that we are a truly national show, and in a lot of ways international because we're on the radio in Atlanta, but Chris in Heidelberg, Ontario, watching on the Game Plus television network, writes in, and Kevin the Medium's here, we can throw him out. I always like getting his reaction. He says, Kitchener Rangers, Mount Rushmore, Dwight Foster, Larry Robinson, Mike Richards, Andre Benoit. I'm going to throw one at you. What about Brian Bellows? Just to tell you that I know my junior hockey lore, I just wish more people cared about it. Twisted Mike writes in, he says, my Mount Rushmore of the Regina Pats, Ed Stadowski, Clark Gillies, Dale Durkach, Doug Wickenheiser.
Awesome.
No Connor Bedard.
How can you not put Connor?
Jeff, the Stamps fan, wants to know your Calgary Stampeders. And you're wearing the shirt, Kev.
I am.
So
just for Jeff.
Your Calgary Stampeders.
I thought of him as I was picking my wardrobe out for today.
Your Mount Rushmore of Calgary Stampeders.
Oh, man.
You are a season ticket holder.
Yes, I am. Flutie. I never even thought of it because right away I went to BC, of course. Flutie. Gosh, you got to put Bo in there.
You love your quarterbacks.
Yeah. Just because I know Ellison's watching, I got to put Paredes in there.
The kicker?
The kicker. Second best kicker ever to play the game.
Behind Mark McLaughlin, who's the all-time CFL points leader. But continue.
Me?
It's your list. Yeah.
CFL scoring leader? No, that would be Mr. Lou.
Well, Paredes ain't even in the conversation.
He is in the conversation. He has the
because your girlfriend thinks he's hot.
He has the record for the most consecutive field goals, even if one cheated. But that's okay. We won't count that. He took it away from Lou. Sorry. So that was 3. I need one more.
Oh, well, there are many.
Yeah, Pitts.
Okay, there you go. Nice work.
Thank you. I had to pull that out of my brain. That was tough.
You had help with it, I know.
I did.
And just before we get back on track, if there is a track.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wilf in Steinbach, Manitoba, who watches this every day on Game Plus television, he says, Mount Rushmore of coaches of all sports.
Oh.
Bud Grant, Bill Belichick, Scotty Bowman, Vince Lombardi. And now that I think about that, from a Twitter account named The Man from Edmonton. That's his Twitter account. The Man from Edmonton. He says, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky. This is of all-time athletes.
Oh.
Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Pele, and it pains me, but Tom Brady. And he says, so many options. I'm trying not to be a homer. Thank you for watching, and thanks for watching and tweeting us. That's another way to get a hold of us. And I'm sorry, Clark, here it is. He says, all-time Leafs, Keon Sittler, Johnny Bauer, Matt Sundin. Clark, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it, Clark.
That's not bad at all.
Daryl in Edmonton says Joey Moss goes on the Edmonton. He is all Edmonton sports. So it's fun. Thanks for playing. Fun. Till Daddy takes the T-Bird away.
Oh.
Okay. It's time to play Let me start that again. We live. It's time to play CFL Deal or No Deal for our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal. Week 11 of the CFL kicks off Thursday night with the Edmonton Elks at the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tiger Cats are favored by 5.5. Kevin the Medium. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
You're taking the deal? Hamilton will win by 5.5 or more.
Yes.
Friday night, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at the Calgary Stampeders. The Bombers favored by 7. Deal or no deal?
It might be closer, but I'm going to take the deal.
You're taking Bombers by 7. I'm also taking the deal on the Hamilton game. They'll win by more than 5.5. I bet on Calgary last week and lost. I'm not doing that again. I'm going to take the Bombers by 7 or more Friday night in the game where they will honor the 1998 Calgary Stampeder Grey Cup champions. Saturday, Montreal at Ottawa. The Alouettes are favored by 2.5. Cody Fajardo is a game-time decision again. Deal or no deal?
He wasn't playing.
Deal or no deal?
Deal.
You got Montreal to win by 2.5 or more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more, actually.
Same here. And then BC at Saskatchewan, which has tied for Canada's game of the week, along with that Bomber Stamp game. Lines at Riders Sunday. BC favored by 9.5.
See, I think BC's going to win, but I don't think they're going to cover the spread at 9.5.
So you're not taking the deal?
I'm going to say no, because I think it's going to be like more of a 6 to 7 point difference. So no deal.
I will take the deal. Sign up and get playing today at betregal.ca, the exclusive betting partner of the RP Show. Ta-da! They're getting a little crazy with the Mount Rushmore talk, and that's fine. That's fine. We invited it. I asked for it. So when I say a little crazy, Bill in Brantford has veered off the road into NASCAR.
Oh.
He says Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richard Petty, Bill Elliott, and Cale Yarborough.
Oh, he just lost all respect.
Why?
How can you not put Mark Martin in there? Number 6.
Are you a NASCAR guy?
I used to be huge NASCAR guy.
See what we're learning?
Huge.
I had no idea.
I would literally, like, every Sunday we would get together. Oh yeah, massive NASCAR guy. And number 6 was my number.
Jordan's apparently upset as well. Director Jordan. Can I say Jeff Gordon? Or was he just hot? Number 24?
Oh yeah, he should be in there.
Okay.
Yes.
I did not mean to spark a riot.
Oh, NASCAR fans you think Ryder fans are crazy? NASCAR fans take
I had no idea.
These guys get tattoos. They like turn their lawns into literal monuments to their drivers.
Are you saying Jordan's opinion doesn't matter unless he has a NASCAR tattoo?
That's right. Do you, Jordan?
Are you trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Well, we know you can't hit a cowbell, but you can hit a brim of a hat, apparently.
Bradley on the EMJ Marketing text line. He's in Calgary, but writes in the Moose Jaw Warriors. Mount Rushmore. Chad Hins. Ryan Smith. Theo Fleury. And Braden Point. I know that means nothing to you, but it means a hell of a lot to me.
It's funny because I listened to junior hockey talk from you
all the time,
and it amazes me that Manitoba, Saskatchewan, somewhat Alberta, really pay attention to WHL. I mean, I grew up in BC as a huge hockey fan, but I was not even on my radar.
Your next guest, Seth, is a big junior guy too, right, Seth? He's from Kamloops. He didn't have a choice. We were born with it. Oh, now it's really getting out there. But also fine. It's fun. By the way, I was sitting here going, we do talk a lot of CFL because it's summer, but I'm like, I really miss hockey. I was saying to Karen here from Century Downs, hockey is the one thing that everybody agrees on.
Yes.
That everybody loves. Summertime, I sit here and watch SportsCenter. Tennis, they don't cover much CFL on there. A lot of golf, and gosh knows I'm not a golf guy, although I am going to MC a golf tournament this afternoon. But hurry up, hockey. From Jackie's highlight videos, that's the account watching on YouTube, says my Rough Rider Mount Rushmore, Ron Lancaster, George Reed, Don Narcisse, Ray Elgard.
Oh.
Just so you know, I had all of those, except I had Bobby Jurison replacing Ray Elgard because we had to have a defensive player, and he's the all-time sack leader. But that's just me. Glenn Suter is their all-time interception leader. Like, Kevin didn't know me past life. I have the CFL record book, as you now know, memorized. The Western Hockey League memory
Except he didn't
memorized.
He didn't know who has the most points in the CFL.
Well, it's probably, I think it's, I'm not totally certain that, I know McLaughlin is the Stamps all-time leading scorer.
Pisaglia is not only the CFL leading scorer in points, he is pro football's leading scorer in points.
What are you, his agent?
3,891 points.
What are you, his agent?
I would be if you'd let me, but there's that whole restraining order.
How about that?
I'm restraining myself from telling our inside joke about, I won't.
You already did at one point.
I did, and I got away with it, so I'm not saying it again. I got away with it. Troy in Toronto says, did you do Mount Rushmore of 80s heavy metal lead singers? Yeah, no. We didn't.
That's random.
He says, Axl Rose, Sebastian Bach, Bruce Dickinson, James Hetfield. Who are 4 guys that have never been in my kitchen, Alex? Who is the lead singer of Poison? Bret Michaels. Stop! He's the GOAT. Vince Neil, you don't even have Vince Neil on here.
I was just going to say, what happened to Vince Neil?
We're going to come to blows before this thing is all over, and I did not expect that.
Can I give you my poker? I've thought about this.
Oh, yeah, I asked you.
So Doyle Brunson, rest in peace. He just passed away. Number 1 has to be the godfather of poker. Met him, cool guy. Daniel Negreanu.
Got him, I know him.
I got to put Phil Hellmuth in there. He's won more bracelets than anybody else. And just because he's the Unabomber, Phil Locke.
That's his nickname?
That's his nickname.
How's that allowed?
Because he literally, if you remember the picture of the Unabomber with the hood up, sunglasses, that's how he used to play.
Yeah, let's nickname our athletes after terrorists.
He was the Unabomber.
Let's go.
Yes.
You're lucky nobody pays attention. Allie in Texas says, Mount Rushmore of action stars. Ooh. She says Stallone, Schwarzenegger,
thank you,
Jason Statham, and Chuck Norris. That's pretty good. Jeff, the Stamps fan, has responded with Clint Eastwood, Steve McQueen. It's Charles Bronson, right? And Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bronson hasn't been relevant, like he isn't even his name in 30 years. I haven't even heard his name.
But he was huge back in the day, back when you were a kid and they had square wheels.
Yeah. Troy in Toronto goes on to say, come on, Rod, I can only pick 4. Your rules. Yeah, pick the best 4. That's the idea.
How about that?
That's the whole idea.
But that's what's great about this, because you could actually debate and literally have a legitimate debate on pretty much every single category that was brought up and not be wrong.
Oh, exactly.
Well, except Jeff, the Stance fan. Did he even name his?
Well, he named his action stars. He says, by the way, he says Charles Bronson's dead. Doesn't matter. He can still go on the Mount Rushmore. And Jen from the Fourth Season says, ha-ha, death wish. Oh, what? He had the big gun, right? Yes. Charles Bronson had the big gun. Anywho, I'm out of here. I'm heading to Theo's golf tournament. Kevin, the medium, and Seth taking over next. Thanks, everybody, for playing. We're not done. We'll be right back to Century Downs after this brief pause on Game Plus, WQEE Radio, podcast, and YouTube Live.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Did you know that you can help save a life? And you can start right now.
Stem cells from male donors increase chances of positive outcomes for patients, yet they only make up 40% of our registry.
Today, there are hundreds of people in Canada searching for their life-saving match.
You can be a patient's best hope. Be a hero by registering with Canadian Blood Services Stem Cell Registry now.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
I'm Bridget Lacquette. I'm a First Nation Olympic silver medalist, and I'm proud to represent Indigenous hockey players across Canada. Each year, hundreds of Canadians need a stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor to save their life. Anyone can have a hard time finding a stem cell match, but for Indigenous peoples, it can be even more difficult because just over 1% of prospective donors on Canada's stem cell registry are of Indigenous backgrounds. Be a hero. Join me and Hockey Gives Blood in helping to make a life-saving difference to those in need. Register today at blood.ca/beahero.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show with the medium, myself, Kevin, taking over alongside of Seth.
How's it going?
Good. If you want to bring Seth in, there he is. Welcome. Thank you for coming down and joining us.
Well, it's always a pleasure coming down here. They've got the coffee, the snacks, everybody hanging out. Such good vibes.
Did you try one of those cinnamon buns?
I did.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I probably need to go for a run after this, but it was delightful.
Karen brings in donuts, cinnamon buns. She treats us so well here. And oh my God, that cinnamon buns she brings in today they were so good.
Top notch.
There's still some left, so I'm going to have one before we leave. Anyways, we're going to continue along with the Mount Rushmore. What is yours for hockey?
For hockey, like just hockey players?
Hockey in general, just the...
I would say my top four, I'm just going to go with my personal top four of all time. Trevor Linden, Joe Sakic, Pavel Bure, Roberto Luongo.
Oh, I like it.
Actually, well, yeah, no, I like that.
I like it, yeah. Even though I pick on Luongo because he let me down and he didn't win me a cup.
I think the 15 years of being a Canuck fan before he came and all the letdowns, like I don't know. Luongo's the guy.
No, you told me a story. Can we tell the story about Linden?
About my son?
Yes.
Yeah, give her. Yeah.
Okay, tell us, like you named your son.
Yeah. So my son was born in 2011, right after the Canucks did not win the cup. And I'm a lifelong Canuck fan. For the most part, I had a little period there where I was a bit of an Avalanche fan after they lost when they first came out. But anyway, I named my son Linden, and then as some sort of turn of fate, he ended up being a Bruins fan, and I can actually point back to I had this kids book from Costco of all places that showed comparative like win, lose, big, small, those kind of things, but with NHL examples.
Yeah.
And on the win-lose page, it had Chara holding the cup and a Sedin twin with his head down. So I think he associates the Bruins with winning from a very early age.
Wow. How old is he now?
He is 11.
And he's still a Bruins fan?
He's a pretty fair weather fan at best, but yeah, Bruins is who he cheers for.
Wow.
Definitely not the Canucks.
Wow. Wow.
Who's your Mount Rushmore for the Canucks?
For the Canucks, it would have to be Trevor Linden. We'll put the Sedins as one.
As one.
The Twins as one.
Yeah.
I got to throw Morrison in there. And probably Pavel. Bure.
See, I was thinking about this too. I think I'd have to go Linden, Bure, probably Stan Smeal.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he's a bit before my time, pretty iconic.
Yes.
And then I don't know how you don't have Naslund in there.
And I was going back and forth between Naslund, Morrison, Bertuzzi. That was like probably my favorite team when that group was together.
Yeah.
Right? It was just so much fun to watch until the incident.
I would say the 03-04 Canucks are probably the most underachieved team ever, maybe. Like, they should have won the cup one of those years.
The most talented underachievers for sure.
Yeah, especially blowing that 3-1 series lead to Minnesota. Anyway, that still grates at me. Maybe more than losing the finals.
Did I tell you about the 2011, what my son has done to me?
No.
He does the streaming where it's called Extra Life, and he streams him playing stupid video games online for 24 hours. And he's made it so I think it's $500. If he raises $500, I have to sit with him and watch the Game 7 of the 2011 playoffs live. We're going to do a live watch party. I was like, how did I get involved in this? That's an open wound.
That sounds painful. I did watch Game 7 of the 94 one. I rewatched that at some point, and man, hockey was different back then.
Wasn't it?
And but it was painful to watch.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I want the kid to raise a lot of money. I think last year he raised $1,200. So $500 shouldn't be an issue. But on the other hand, I'm like,
don't want to do that.
That's gonna hurt.
Did he say what speed you have to watch it on? Could you do like the 4x speed and just get through it quicker?
Oh, that's an idea.
Just throw that out there for you.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Can we just like watch the first 2 periods and not have to watch the 3rd period?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Jackie's highlights videos, Mount Hockey, just hockey in general, Mount Rushmore. Gretzky, Lemieux, Orr, and Howe.
It's hard to argue with that for all-timers.
Well, and that's what's so great about this is you could put so many names out there, and is it wrong? No.
No, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, I wonder if you could add a Crosby in there somehow, but I mean, how do you bump any of those legends out there?
Yeah, I mean, you could have 5 different Mount Rushmores out there and not be wrong.
Totally.
With hockey. Let's switch topics. I know you're a big basketball guy.
Yeah.
This was the first season for the Calgary Surge. Overall, what rating, 1 to 10?
Well, I mean, obviously the 10 would have been winning the championship, I would think. But I think in terms of essentially being an expansion team, I know they had a couple seasons in Guelph, but basically you're starting in a new market.
Yes.
I think they only had 2 or 3 players maybe come over.
Oh, did they? Okay.
So, essentially starting from scratch out here in Calgary. Unproven in terms of, would you get the fan support? Would you, be able to put a winning product on the court right away? And I mean, I think they accomplished all that. So, I mean, I would give it a 9.8 or 9.9 out of 10 because, I mean, you just needed that, that championship would have maybe even been an 11 out of 10 from my perspective. And I mean, nothing, I'm not going to say like everything was perfect per se. I'm sure there's some things if you're on that coaching staff or within that team that they're learning from that they want to do better next year.
Oh, of course.
But from like sitting on the outside looking in, I don't know how you could look at this year as anything other than a pretty big success.
Well, it has to be considered a massive success. I mean, they were close to selling out pretty much every home game, were they not?
Pretty close, yeah. And there was a few, and it got rocking in there. And I think they've built a fan base, from my perspective, the right way. They've got a core group of players. Hopefully they can get some of them back again next year to take another run at it. But, it's tough, too. The finals, it's a best of one. And, they didn't have, arguably, one of their best players in Simi Chitu because he had to
No, explain that to me because we were talking about that earlier. He had to go over.
Well, he's got a professional contract over in France, and I think he had to go fulfill those obligations. And I think that's one of the tough things with the CEBL is it is a developmental league. So, these guys are going to get opportunities and sometimes the timing's not going to work out perfectly. And, you saw that a little bit earlier in the season with like NBA, with the NBA Summer League where some guys are leaving and coming in and out. And I think that's just part of the reality that they're up against.
Is that a unique thing? Like I've not heard that in any other sport where you're playing in a season and all of a sudden your top guy's got to go and play for his pro team.
Well, and I think a part of it is like it is situated in the summer, so it doesn't conflict with most professional seasons, right?
I guess not.
But you start getting towards the tail end and into August, and things are happening.
But I guess you get it in hockey. With the farm teams of the NHL teams, they're losing their top players quite often.
Yeah, like in the AHL, for example, like a guy would get called up to the NHL, and if they were playing in the playoffs in the AHL, but you get called up to the NHL, that guy's going to go. We probably just don't talk about it as much.
Yeah, exactly. So going into next year, what can we look forward to with the Surge?
Well, I don't, have a ton of info on that. I guess, I'm personally curious to see how, I think Steph Smith develops over the course of this next little while. So he's got a professional opportunity. I'm drawing a blank on which country, but overseas.
Oh, okay.
I thought, I really enjoyed watching him play this year, and he made some unbelievable had some unbelievably clutch moments down the stretch, especially eliminating Saskatoon on that three-pointer, and then he actually advanced them into the final on a three-point shot. So I think he's got that clutch gene, and as he just gets a little bit older and a little bit more experience, and we'll see if he ends up back with the Surge. I'm sure, he's looking for other professional opportunities, but I'd love to see.
All are.
They all are, right? Like, I think ideally, yes, you want to probably get some guys back, but if guys get to that next level, you're going to support and push for that too.
Nice. Now, you're a BC guy. You grew up in Kamloops, is that right?
A little bit of everywhere. Kamloops for a few years. The Kamloops Vernon area.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You're a Lions fan? Do you follow the CFL at all?
You know what? I followed it when I was a kid because my dad was. Usually nowadays I'll watch the Grey Cup and make a chili, and that's sort of about as deep as I am into it. And it's funny because you were talking Mount Rushmore CFL, and all I could think of was just 4 Doug Flutie's.
Nice. Doug Flutie, Darren Flutie, the Flutie to Flutie pass.
There you go. So I'm not super, but yes, when I do follow, BC's definitely. Yeah, and I saw the highlights. What's the guy playing for Jacksonville now? That was impressive. Rourke.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They actually showed that at the Dome during the BC game.
Yeah.
And to watch the reaction of the players on the bench, you could tell Rourke was a well-liked member of that team because they stopped and were just looking up at the screen. And does he get a shot? And I hope so. I hope he gets the opportunity.
Well, I think that's the thing with the NFL, injuries and things change real quick. So just having a showing like that in the preseason and having an opportunity to be a backup or even a third string, who knows what happens?
Yeah, exactly. But you are a hockey fan.
I'm a hockey fan, basketball. I love all the sports, to be honest.
Yeah. Canucks chances, what you see of them this year?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think, heading into last year, you're kind of thinking, okay, at least a while. I don't fully understand the NHL playoffs anymore. My head is just ingrained in top 8. But you're thinking like bottom of the playoff picture, who knows? Yeah. And then after last year, I think anybody, it's a crapshoot of a guess. But, it'd be nice to see some of, Pedersen, some of those guys take another step, and hopefully they can surround that group. And then a stability at the coaching side of things with Rick Tocchet and some of those folks coming back and having a full year under their belt.
Yes.
I mean, I'm always hopeful.
It's been since 1970 for me. I was 6 years old. I'm always hopeful.
Yeah.
We're getting carried away with the Mount Rushmore on the YouTube chat.
They're popping up more.
They've got, now they're going into sitcoms. Okay. Sitcoms. We got WKRP, Gilligan's Island, I Dream of Jeannie, and Charlie's Angels.
Okay.
Probably all before your time.
All very well before my time. I don't have a comment on any of those, to be honest.
There we go. We'll be back after this short break. How does Rod do this? There we go.
That was kind of a weak gong, Kevin.
That was a really weak gong. I'm going to have to practice my gonging.
3033. 902 518 3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902 518 3033.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
Hi, my name's Logan Stankoven.
And I'm Connor Bedard.
We're both Hockey Gives Blood player ambassadors and proud to be blood donors.
There are thousands of patients each year in Canada that rely on a generous stranger to save their life.
Please book an appointment today to donate blood at blood.ca/HGB.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. Biiig, always delivering the best fan experience.
Century Downs Racetrack and Casino presents the World Professional Chuck Wagon Association Finals. Be here when the wagons roll August 23rd to 27th. Single day tickets and 5-day passes available at showpass.com. Century Downs, welcome to the winner's zone.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Welcome back to the Rod Pedersen Show. I'm Kevin, the medium, otherwise known as Kevin Hughes, the sales coordinator for the RP Show. I'm filling in for Rod as Rod is headed off to the Theron Fleury charity golf tournament this afternoon to be the MC. Welcome to Overtime. Overtime's brought to you by the Overtime Hockey Lanes. If you're in Calgary and you haven't checked it out yet, check them out. It's an amazing place. Are you a hockey guy? Do you play hockey?
No, not really.
I'm the same, but yeah. I had a blast when we were there. I could see spending hours there just shooting a puck, having a beer. It would be cool.
Yeah.
It's official from Jeff the Stamps fan that Drew Brown will start for the Bombers on Friday night. That's going to be interesting to see how, with Brown behind taking quarterback, how they do against the Stamps. I still think Winnipeg's going to win.
I don't have an opinion, but I do have a hot tip on an upcoming CFL-related event.
Oh.
With the band that I'm working with as manager of the Steadies. We're the halftime show of the Rough Rider Blue Bomber game on Labor Day.
Oh, right. How did the summer tour go for the Steadies?
It's going really well. So we're done, as of last night, done 23 of the 33 shows that we have booked. I was out in Kelowna weekend before last, and we had a great turnout to a couple of shows. And then next week we're heading out to Toronto, Montreal, and doing a bunch of stuff out there before the final weekend, which culminates with the halftime show.
That's huge. Now, the lead singer, he was his original band.
Yeah.
The Wide Mouth Masons.
Wide Mouth Mason, yeah. So Earl Pereira was a founding member.
Yes.
It's funny, he actually posted on social media yesterday a copy of Biiig Shiny Tunes 2, the highest selling album in Canadian history, and he was part of it. Wide Mouth was featured on that album.
Oh, very cool.
And it was funny to see just the reaction on social media, just hundreds, he might even be at thousands of likes at this point, the nostalgia sort of around some of that old Much Music era type stuff.
Yes, because they were big. They were big in the day, Wide Mouth Mason.
No, he's had an amazing career. They've opened for AC/DC, the Rolling Stones, Tragically Hip, done some pretty cool stuff.
Cool. Now, what are you doing now? I hear you've got a new thing going.
I'm always working on a few things.
You're always doing something. Every time I talk to you, it's something new.
Yeah, so something it's been in the works for a little while. Empowering artists, so it's a nonprofit. Our goal is to help empower artists and grow their careers, and then also give back to the community through some different things we're developing at this point. So I've obviously been working with the Steadies, and I had Mark Logan by last week, and some of these artists that, just trying to help them get to their next level, whatever that might be, and we've kind of got a structure around that now.
How can people follow you and follow what you're doing with that organization?
Yeah, so for me, you can follow me on Instagram at Seth Ans. There'll be more to come. We're still building out the social media side for empowering artists, but you can start there and lots to come.
Very cool, very cool. We have less than a minute to go in the RP show.
I got one more Mount Rushmore for you.
One more Mount
Kamloops
Rushmore.
Blazers. We got Darcy Tucker, Jerome McGinley, Nolan Baumgartner, and Shane Doan.
See, it just amazes me that people literally pay that much attention to the WHL that they can name all these stars that played. I'm sorry, I couldn't name them. I could name NHL stars. And everyone you just mentioned was an NHL star, were they not?
But they started with the Blazers. There's that era of teams. I didn't even have Niedermeyer and all those other guys.
Well, yeah.
It was crazy, but those are my four.
Excellent. Thank you so much for tuning in. Rod will be back tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm going to do a Rod thing here, and we're out.
Who has more fun than us?